Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
I gotta let Ryan in before we start the show. Hold on a second. Hey Ryan, how's it going?
How's it going?
Awesome. We're gonna do things are a little different today because it's just you and me. Everybody else is not moving. Eric is on some kind of Native American vision quest. Amanda, as we know, is Canadian, and Steve had to work. I don't know if being Canadian has to do with anything, but we got.
She's forever in lockdown.
Exactly. She's forever in lockdown. Who knows what's going to happen? She's gone stir crazy. It's just she's talking to her dog right now instead of talking to human beings. But
hey, Frankie's a good person.
Frankie is the greatest. We usually start things off with somebody's theme, and because it's technically my show today.
There you go.
Exactly. We're gonna have a little. I think we're gonna have a little.
The
fun.
boss is out.
Well, exactly. That's what free. The boss is out, so we're just gonna do a little.
By the way, hi, Steve.
Adrenaline in my soul, every thought out of control. Do it all to get them off their feet. The crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go off, I'm home. Whoa. My father said when I was younger, hard times make better man. Took it all away, I gave it all away to build my kingdom. Here to change the game of MMA pain. I am my kingdom, now you bow to me. You took my dreams but not my name. You'll follow me until the end. I am my freedom.
Bam.
That is, of course, Something Cody Rhodes by the same band that digs Dolph Ziggler's theme. And that's there's a whole reason for the TNT Championship, NWA Championship. Cody Rhodes won both titles. I don't know. I felt it was appropriate. Let me go turn this thing off so you don't hear guitar noises all day. But welcome to the War Report podcast. Holy shit. How are you doing this week, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Actually, the title of the song is Kingdom. Nice and easy.
It's actually called Kingdom. Okay. It's not it's not just called Something Cody Rhodes.
Yep. Just a little off.
By Downstate. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, because everybody, that's how the Dark Order sings it. Adrenaline in my soul, something Cody Rhodes. So that's
it's close.
It's close enough.
There's something about Cody Rhodes in there.
Exactly. Lots of dream and this and that. And but we're here for the War Report. We're a little shorthanded, but that's okay.
We got
I
a
don't know
bench.
what we start. We do. What do we start with? I mean, do we start with I guess I should ask this. What did you watch? And then we can compare what we watched.
I watched somewhat of Raw. I didn't get the chance to get around to SmackDown. I have an idea of what happened on SmackDown. But
yeah, I mean, that makes two of us. I caught a little bit of Raw, and I don't know if I watched. Oh, no, Friday I was out. I think I was out. Or I was sleeping. I think I might have been sleeping.
That's a lot better than what I was doing. I was at work.
Well, yeah, but I was sleeping because I had just gotten off of work. Yeah, so SmackDown. Let me see if I can find SmackDown's
result page. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and SmackDown, I don't even know what day it was. No, it was the 25th, right?
Yep. That is correct.
5/20/21. So, yes, I just clocked off of work as well, which explains why I don't know what the hell is going on. But here we are. We'll start with SmackDown. We'll work our way to Saturday Night Dynamite. We'll work our way to Monday Night Raw, and we'll see where that gets us.
Sounds fantastic.
Right? Oh,
It was my weekend on, so I did not catch, like any of SmackDown. I caught the highlights afterwards. I'm like, oh, this wasn't that bad of a show.
I mean, SmackDown had a lot of stuff going for it. I'm more so than Raw.
It feels like it's been like that for a while.
Yeah, so we've got, I guess they kick things off. Bayley and Seth Rollins against Bianca Belair and Cesaro, a mixed tag team match. Okay, well,
I'm enjoying that Bayley's in the title picture still.
Yeah, well, who else is really ready on SmackDown? Like, I almost feel like everybody's in a holding pattern until Becky comes back, and whether it's Raw or SmackDown, because it seems like Charlotte might get SmackDown, and then Becky could go back to her home, or excuse me, Charlotte would get Raw, and Becky would go back to her home on SmackDown. But we don't know yet. Rollins staying relevant. I guess there's talk of him being one of the potential contenders for Roman Reigns.
I kind of dislike the fact that I'll save that for later.
That we're building towards what, Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins?
No, we'll get to the points later.
Yes. Okay. We had the coronation of Kingsuke Nakamura. That's terrible. They really wrote that.
That is a really terrible name.
It's the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's the only way.
Along with his buddy Rick Boogs, whose gimmick I just ripped off there.
Great gimmick, though.
I've been working ever since. I've been working on the Nakamura theme on the guitar. Ever since I saw him doing it live, I'm like, okay, now I got to try and learn it.
If Nakamura wins the title, you have to do the intro.
There we go. We'll do the intro. And yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad to see Shinsuke back doing what he does.
Relevance.
Like, yeah. It was just, I don't know. It was weird. They made him wear these like blue pajamas, and he just kind of walked around. Like he just didn't seem invested. And now he seems more invested. Maybe because
huge difference.
Yeah. Well, the company's actually, putting faith in him. I could see after like losing WrestleMania and going on that, the nut shot extravaganza against AJ Styles, how you'd be like, oh, this shit stinks. But now I guess it's better for him. This is a much better spot. Big E defeats Apollo Crews to qualify for Money in the Bank. I
dig it.
I mean, listen, I think Big E should have already won the Money in the Bank, should have already been the world champion long ago. So yes, easily. I'm okay with this.
Would be fun to have him with the Money in the Bank with the New Day on Raw.
Well, see, now because I guess the draft is coming up.
Yeah.
Sure. They moved that up too. Usually, isn't that in the fall?
They just kind of they kind of like,
hey guys,
let's switch it up.
So there's rumors that Big E could be moving over to Raw.
That's what I was saying. It would be fun. To get the Money in the Bank with New Day, and I have a feeling they could have some fun with the shenanigans.
I would hope so, man. They've already filled a Money in the Bank briefcase with pancakes, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they could keep going. They could do other goofy shit with the briefcase, I'm sure. They could, it'll be spray painted with the unicorn and the rainbows and all the New Day stuff. That I don't know how it ever got. I don't know how the unicorn. Like, how did this all get associated with the New Day?
I don't know. I can't remember how the unicorn came into it, but the unicorn is now a part of New Day,
right? And they wear their unicorn horns. They used to sell unicorn horns. It's fine. It's marketing, but like, I don't quite remember if it was just like one day they had unicorns on their gear.
I think Xavier did something about unicorns. The crowd responded, so they actually went and made the unicorn.
All right. Well, there we go. And then I remember they had a shirt with a blind unicorn on it because it was a unicorn.
I have the shirt. It's all three of them on the blind unicorn, and it's the brightest shirt I've ever bought in my life because it's like a baby blue.
Oh my goodness. Well, that explains why why it's blind. It's too bright. The shirt's too bright.
I'm trying to pull that up.
Yeah, the image. Yeah, Carmella was named to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Liv Morgan defeated Carmella. So who's actually in the ladder match? Are they both in? Or is Liv not in it? And how are they? They're and then there's Carmella's calling herself the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, which I thought that was going to be what Eva Marie does. So I don't know what we're doing.
Maybe they're building up a big feud between the two of them.
Yes. And it'll be like hair color, like what they do with Sasha Banks. It'll be whatever color the one girl's hair is versus the other. I don't know. Nothing is exciting. Listen, not that Liv Morgan isn't working hard and Carmella hasn't worked hard to get where they are now and it like vastly improved, but
it's just hard to get excited over something that's not
when the option is
excitable.
One of them, right? When one of them beats Bianca Belair, like that's what we're looking at. Who is going to beat Bianca Belair? You're like, does it have to be one of them? Maybe they could bring somebody up, surprise entrant.
Be nice.
Yeah, Jimmy Uso defeated Dolph Ziggler. Who knew he was still wrestling?
Hey, it's amazing how he still gets a check.
Yeah, I figured.
Not trying to be a dick, but it is amazing that.
No, he is one of those guys just kind of hanging on like JTG back in the day. So I wonder if he's. I always wonder when these cuts come up. That's kind of like the talk is. Maybe I gotta add your.
He's up
there. Yeah, maybe one of these cuts. Dolph Ziggler's out, so that's the shirt with the.
That is the shirt.
The sight impaired.
Unicorn.
Who's only wearing.
I don't. Is that a unicorn?
One
with
sneaker?
buck teeth and.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess
it has.
It's got a fishtail. Okay, now I'm really confused.
The more I look at it, the more confused I get.
Yeah, but if they're in space, then I guess that's what it is. They're space.
True. And it has a mohawk.
Space unicorn, My Little Pony, fishtail, wearing Chuck Taylor things. Great. Fantastic. We all learned something today. But the big talk of the town for SmackDown was, of course, after we had the, who gives a shit match between Uso #1 and Dolph Ziggler. Edge came back out. Edge is back, and Edge is challenging Roman Reigns, probably for SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank.
Oh,
official.
That's right. Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is before that.
Yep.
So here's a question.
Yep.
If you might know where I'm going here. If you seem like a pretty good critical thinking skills. If you're having Edge challenge for the world title at Money in the Bank, why did you take Daniel Bryan and Edge and stack them on top of each other and have Roman Reigns pin both of them at the same time at WrestleMania?
That is a really good question because there's no answer.
Why wouldn't Daniel Bryan take the pin?
Yeah.
And then Edge comes back and says, I was never pinned. Because that's how wrestling works. Some guy loses by a technicality and has to get a, shoehorn into a rematch, and, Bob's your uncle.
Or have a weird, if you're going to stack them, have Edge's shoulders not on the mat.
Right, yeah, he could be off the mat. He got one shoulder up, but Daniel Bryan didn't. Something.
So he technically won because he was on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, give me something. Not just, hey, I know like this is the Kevin Owens route. Hey, you whooped my ass for like a month straight. Can I get another rematch? And they're just like, sure, come on in and get your ass whooped again.
Come on down.
It's like a ride at Six Flags or Cedar Point. They're just like, Roman Reigns beats your ass, and you just pay for your ticket and you walk through and you take the Superman punch and the spear and you go out at the end and you're like, I need another payday. Let's go back in.
Let's do that ride again. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what everybody needs in their life.
Or at closing time at Cedar Point, they let you go right back up. Don't even get off the ride.
Yeah, you don't even have to. You don't have to get out and go back in line. Yeah, they'll just loop you back around. Yesterday was the 28th. I'm gonna look up the raw results. Did you watch any of AEW Dynamite?
I did not. I was disappointed. But
that you weren't able to watch it, or just you were disappointed in what they said happened on the show?
No, I was disappointed I couldn't watch it.
Okay, that's
That's one thing I missed from my other job is being able to listen stuff at work.
Right. This
It is like
different.
Makes the 12 hours go by so much quicker when you're listening to something.
Oh yeah. Back when I was working 12 hours, yeah, I needed something on in the background, or you'd go freaking nuts.
But I'm already not, so it's fine.
Yeah, but it's just oh god, I know. I know the feeling though. So Monday Night Raw, Riddle won a battle royal.
Yep.
And again, we'll talk. So Randy Orton was supposed to wrestle this whole time.
Yeah.
Anytime Matt Riddle wrestled on Monday night, it was supposed to be Randy Orton. But Randy Orton, who knows, took a vacation day, got popped for marijuana. Who knows?
He just wasn't there.
He just wasn't there. So they had they've really taken this Riddle smokes weed thing and turned it into Riddle is like a big retard character.
Yeah.
Because he's right, and I know Steve gets a kick out of this shit, but like he takes a green, get it green, because the marker has to be green because of marijuana, guys, and then he writes like this big letter in magic marker on lined paper, but like it's big letter, like it looks like a special ed kid drew the goddamn thing, and he hands it in and is like, "This is Randy Orton's doctor. Randy Orton can't wrestle, but his best bro Matt Riddle can do it because he's bro-mazing," or whatever the fuck.
Like Orton would ever use the word.
Right, that's the thing. There was too much stuff in, like, we get it. Like the whole joke was that we know that the guy.
It was too on the nose.
It was, especially because, okay, for those of you in TV land there who don't know this, Matt Riddle, it's come out since, or has been kind of leaked, that this stuff is false, or at least not confirmed. But there was like an indie wrestler woman that was trying to Me Too Matt Riddle, saying some stuff about how the guy made some passes at her, blah blah blah. Typical Me Too accusations that could be, it's enough to take seriously and look into them. But at one point, Matt Riddle's lawyer issued a statement on his behalf and printed it out on what he thought was printer paper. But he printed it out on one of those pieces of sticker paper that you peel the CD cover off of.
Oh, geez.
Like the round disc with the hole in the middle. So like back when somebody actually printed CDs and DVDs, you'd have so he printed a letter on it and took a picture of, like, this is the most inefficient way to get a lawyer's statement up on the internet. The guy printed it out, took a picture of it, and then tweeted the picture. And people are looking at this going, why is there a big concentric circle and then another smaller one on holy shit, this guy really printed out a CD label instead of a piece of paper. And then he like deleted the tweet and put up a new one with a fresh piece of paper, but everything lives on the internet forever, so it's already fucking there.
It's there. There's no deleting.
So he's a big dumbass. So I thought they were calling back to that, and I thought it would have been really funny if Matt Riddle wrote his letter on a CD cover printer sticker,
or if he printed out on one.
If he printed it out and they're like, this is sticker paper. He's like, that's what I have in my printer, bro. I make CDs all the time. Yeah, I listen to the Spice Girls. And then he scoots off on his scooter. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think
I make my own custom CDs and pull out a Walkman and like, why is he still using a CD player?
Exactly. Yeah. He's so wacky because he still uses a CD player. And then he's like, yeah, I like sell bootleg Grateful Dead albums, bro. Because weed. Because he has to. They just say like it's the silliest thing. And I'm sure.
You ever watch BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yeah. He's so. And I think Steve is like seething right now. Steve is probably listening to this, going like, "Why are you talking shit about Matt Riddle? He's hilarious." Yes, I know he's hilarious. He's a very good wrestler.
He's not listening. He can feel it in his bones.
Right? Yeah. He just feels a disturbance in the force. Listen, I'm not knocking Matt Riddle. I just think they're really like this was RVD's concern. WWE took the fact that the guy smoked weed and turned it into him saying, yeah, dude, whatever. And like, he wanted to do more than that. And they always kind of pigeonholed him as this, like, no, you just say, yeah, whatever, dude, when he wanted to do other shit. So they've just done it again. Same thing. This guy who's like a legitimate MMA fighter was signed with the UFC, had professional fights. And oh no, he just smokes weed, so he's a big fucking loser who is
the dumbest the dumbest person in the world.
Like dumb as a fucking rock.
I think some rocks are smarter, especially the one that's On a
Dwayne
few.
Johnson, yeah, right. Dwayne Johnson's a lot smarter. There are coral reefs that probably are smarter.
I mean, those are growing.
They're
So-
and their brains technically. No,
Yeah.
that's the type of coral, brain coral. You learn something on this show, kids. Brain
The
coral.
more you know. I swear we need the graphic, and
We
it
just need to
shoots
have that
across.
graphic going whenever we say some stupid fact. Nikki Cross defeated Shayna Baszler once again. Shayna Baszler.
Isn't that? Didn't they change up Nikki Cross's name?
So Nikki is now Nikki Ash or Nikki ASH, almost
Yeah.
a superhero, which is just Rosie's superhero in training shit, but they can't say shit anymore because
Yeah.
they're not their PG company. Like, what? Okay, I get it, guys. Nikki Cross developed this character. She came up with the idea. I don't want to discourage anybody when you're developing a wrestling character
Yeah.
from coming up with an idea and doing something creative. What I'm saying is the execution on it has been piss poor.
Maybe try it on some dark matches. I mean,
Yeah, but they don't have. See, here's the thing: they don't have dark matches right now.
you could do one. I mean,
You could just do one. You're right. Yeah,
I mean, you have the Thunderdome. You could
right.
be
You
like,
just turn
hey,
the Thunderdome on. Here's a bonus match. Right.
show up 15 minutes early, watch a bonus match.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You know, and it's not a bad idea. But I think there was like no play testing with this, and they were
And
just
go
like,
like, hey, but we're gonna work test somebody. Come and check out this new character we're
Yeah.
figuring out.
And
It-
the costume really, like, here's the thing: the costume itself, I think, is fine. The
Yeah.
actual spandex, the mask, really, really takes away from the character.
It's
not
that Green Lantern mask,
Right,
like the Green Lantern Robin.
right. It's like a domino mask, but it's like more pronounced.
Yeah.
It's got. They tried to mold it like the Green Lantern movie almost, and I hate that we're referencing that. But
I think Ryan Reynolds felt that we referenced that movie.
right, yeah, Ryan Reynolds is now like he's sitting in California just pouring himself orange juice, and his hand shook a little bit, and he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
No,
so-
he knows why. He's like, he just shakes his head like,
There's no Green Lantern. But
Why?
the mask, it has like these big protruding eyebrow, like it makes her look not great.
I'm gonna
So,
pull it up.
yeah, and the thing is, what you can do and what they should have done is there are a lot of very successful cosplayers out there who make
Oh,
their
there's
own
so
stuff.
many.
And the masks that they make are fantastic. And it doesn't have to be that big and bulky. You could make it like, I'm going to go real out the box here, but not really because people might know it. The comedian from,
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
blue guy with his dick hanging out, Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, not him. I thought you were
I
talking.
know. I'm talking about the comedian. Yes,
Yeah.
you know, the mask. But what's the movie?
It's
Or the comic
Watchmen.
book? The Watchmen.
Watchmen.
God damn it. Why couldn't I think of that? Yeah, so in the Watchmen, he's got a very, what I would call, low profile domino mask.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much up to his skin. And that's what they'll do with cosplayers. They'll actually take like very thin, like latex or something, and like cut out the shape that they want and then adhere it to their face.
Yeah.
And like that just looks so heavy on her head. Like it looks like it is uncomfortable to wear and wrestle in. Oh, okay, here we go.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have a good balance with her face either.
Right, there's too much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's protruding too much. It takes up too much of her face. If they thinned it out on the cheeks and they made a little contour to show the cheeks and the nose a little bit better, and they made a little contour on the top, I'm really being picky. But guys, I mean, come on, look at this thing.
It's like a TMNT mask.
It's yeah, yes.
It's a bandana, not a mask.
Right.
Like
Yes, it looks like but it looks like they took the foam head of the Ninja Turtle and then used an X-Acto knife to cut the center out of it and then slide it on her head. The costume is fun. I like the costume. Little butterfly.
Yeah.
She's got the cape. She got the thing. She looks like a superhero. Her and Ricochet could go around on a little motorcycle and do superhero things. Sure.
She's got the underwear on the outside, like the old
Right,
school
yeah, she's-
Superman.
The underwear. Listen, I hate to break it to you guys. Zack Snyder, the underwear goes on the outside for Superman. That's just how it's been for 100. Oh, we researched it, and the reason they did that is because bathing suits and strongman suits of the early 20th century in the early 1900s was that, and we figured we need to modernize it. No, because the whole reason the suits look like that is because they came out in the 1920s. That's why you design the suit that way. Holy shit, these people are fucking dumb. Sorry.
It's what you get when you overthink something.
They really and then Zack Snyder, I don't want to get into this. I don't, but I have to. What the fuck was he doing putting that movie in 4:3 and fucking up the aspect ratio? What the
because
fuck?
He could. Because
he
could.
It's almost like there are some films, like Grand Budapest Hotel, I think, did it, where they go from different aspect ratios, and each aspect ratio kind of tells a story. This was like, I think the feel was like I'm watching a superhero movie on a Saturday morning in the 1980s where they had to crop the movie to fit my old crappy TV. Like, that's what I got when I watched that movie. So what the fuck are we doing here? Just release it in widescreen like it's supposed to be released in like 1.3 or 16:9 or whatever you're releasing it in. Fucking, it's a movie. It's released in that format for a reason. But
still is better than the original.
Oh God, no! Listen, the original. I have very minor complaints for the Zack Snyder. I almost said the Zack Ryder version. Could you imagine the Zack Ryder version of the Justice League?
I would pay $5 to see that.
I definitely would.
I'd crowdfund the fuck out of that.
Instead of Superman being the leader of the Justice League, it's Zack Ryder, and he just woo woo woo, and then all the crowd's like yeah, and he's like fighting. He's fighting Doomsday, and he gives him like the Rough Rider. Like little kids are walking around wearing Zack Ryder woo 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 headbands.
He gives the before he sacrifices himself, he takes off his headband, gives it to Superman, pats him on the shoulder.
He gives it to Superman. He says, "Take care, spike your hair," and then goes back in to fight.
No, he goes back in, does the little head back in. You know it, bro.
You know. Yes, Superman has to say, "You know it, bro." I love. God damn it!
He does.
We write better movies than those guys. All right.
God,
anything to not talk about this shit. Nikki Cross qualified for Money in the Bank. Blah blah blah. Took out Shayna Baszler. Alexa Bliss emerged and took down Nia Jax and Reginald. Cross believed in herself enough to tie up Baszler and pick up enough. Alexa, pause. I said the A word. I can't say it around.
She's always listening.
She is always. I'm so glad Jeff Bezos retired, so he's not listening to my stuff anymore. MVP Kofi Kingston's face to face with MVP spelled trouble in paradise. God,
I love
whoever writes for this fucking website should be shot. Like what?
I could see Vince reading it every day and be like,
"I got it." He's like, "You see this one? Trouble in paradise.
This is some good shit, pal."
Did you see where Shelton kicked Bad News Brown? And they're like, no, it's Kofi and MVP. And he's like, no, it's Shelton and Bad News Brown.
Where is it? They had a normal article, Kofi brawls with MVP in confrontation. Vince, he's reading is like, where's the pun, pal? There was trouble in paradise, right?
I bet you it definitely was just a regular headline, and then somebody read it and was like, we need to fix this and make it more like a pun. More power to you, man.
No, it was some random person who's like, do we need to bring this to Vince?
Right, and they're like, yeah, you know what Vince is going to do if he doesn't see a pun in there. They're like, okay, fuck it. Trouble in paradise. Kind of interesting that they're doing this, teasing the potential, like MVP tempting Kofi Kingston to stray away from the New Day goofy bullshit. Yeah.
It's a good angle to take.
It is, but I don't know if it's like, here's the thing, because it's WWE, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Usually, in a sane wrestling company, the person is tempted and they reach their lowest point and it looks like they're going to turn on their friend when there's some sort of beacon of hope and they have a realization that their friend was their friend the whole time and they should be loyal to them, and they turn their backs on the bad guys and they're good guys again. That's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
With this, who fucking knows? Kofi could be in the Hurt business for the next 6 years if like a hair goes across somebody's ass the wrong way. They just feel some kind of way about it.
Vince could have a nightmare, be like, Kofi's turn heel. Let's go.
Right? Or here's the other thing I thought of. Bobby Lashley wants to face Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
There's talks that Brock might be coming back. But you know how WWE loves to fuck with people. So what if they had Bobby Lashley lose the WWE title to Kofi, and then Kofi loses it again to Brock Lesnar, and then it's Brock versus Bobby, but Bobby's not the champion. He has to challenge for it.
That hurts.
I know that hurts your soul, but I had to think of the worst case scenario, and
that is the worst, absolute worst case scenario, and I could see them doing that. That's
like, yeah, Kofi wins again, and then the next week, dun 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 dun, 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 oh no.
Kofi Mania 2, and then Brock comes out, F5s him, pins him, and they don't even announce the title match, and Brock's champ.
Right, and there's just a crater. There's no more ring. There's just a big crater with smoke, and Brock's holding the title up.
Where's Kofi? Brock doesn't matter. Brock's champ.
Yeah. Kofi's like, I have to go back to my home planet now, man. No,
he goes into the home planet. Then the little title card comes up. Kofi died while
Kofi died on his way to his home planet.
So that's new champ Brock Lesnar.
If you didn't watch TV in the 90s, you don't have a clue about anything we're talking about through this entire show, and I love it. Kids are Googling this shit. They're like, what do they mean died on his way back to his home planet? Because I know that's how people type nowadays, of course.
Everybody watched how HBK did it, and that was the way.
Precisely. Or like how they hack computers on like NCIS.
Yeah.
It's like angry typing. This is how you hack a computer.
Or if you're CNN, you play Fallout 3.
Yes, that was great when that was so embarrassing. Hack terminal. It was just like they hacked the terminal. Eva Marie and Doudrop. I'm going to do every time now until they give her a real name. I'm doing the Pokemon sound. Because Eva Marie looks enough like a member of Team Rocket where she could throw this thing out and be like, Doudrop, go. Doudrop. So we just have.
I think it would have a deeper do, like a do and then drop. Kind of like the Snorlax.
The do drop, and then she throws a big dewdrop. I don't fucking know. Water type Pokemon. Go with it.
Water ground.
Water.
Slap it on the ground.
And they beat Asuka and Naomi, which again, Asuka, who
takes the pin.
What the fuck are we doing? Asuka and Naomi, we're protecting Naomi by having Asuka take a pin. What fucking universe do we live in? Not that I dislike Naomi. Don't listen.
No, it's nothing against Naomi. It's just when you're the character to protect currently should be Asuka.
Somebody who was just your world champion, although they treated her like shit the entire time she was world champion. So.
And after, I mean, look at all the matches with her and Charlotte and Shayna. She was always the add-on.
She was eating the pin, and she was an afterthought.
She was champ, so she has to be involved.
Right, but then it was just like, okay, you can come along too. Eva Marie takes credit for it. Doudrop, of course, is looking confused, and I gotta tell you, I went online earlier today just to see what the reaction was to some of this shit. And when I say that there are people out there on Reddit who fucking love this Eva Marie Doudrop thing and are like, I love delusional heels. Do you also like heels that can't fucking wrestle? She can't wrestle. Objectively,
right.
Cannot. It's a skill she doesn't have. This would be like me trying to play in the goddamn NBA. Would I look cute and funny out there doing it? Probably. Do you want me out there absorbing $1 million contract that somebody else deserves? No. It's bullshit.
Especially if you were an actual fan for the team.
Yeah, right? Like, how could you actively root for this? This is it's unwatchable. It's literally making people turn away.
It's like watching a Browns game for the past 20 years before, with the 25 different quarterbacks, and all of them were just as bad as the previous after the first year.
Right. Yeah, and this it's as if you have Johnny Manziel taking up a roster spot.
I was thinking Johnny Manziel, actually.
And you need room for Baker Mayfield, so you have to get rid of Johnny Manziel. Eva Marie is Johnny Manziel in this situation, and literally anybody else is Baker Mayfield.
Anybody
else.
Especially after you got rid of, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. Mickie James.
Mickie James, Ruby Riott. They got rid of like
the Iconics.
Legitimately talented women that can wrestle, and then you sign Eva Marie. So it's a fucking... The fact that anybody even treats this as something that should be enjoyed or taken serious. Like,
it
not taken seriously. It hurts because there are people out there like these poor fucking girls, the Iconics. They're not poor. They have money. I'm sure they save their money. If they had,
I'm sure they're fine.
But what I'm saying is right now they're in a position where they were sponsored by the WWE. They're Australian citizens. They moved to the US, but they haven't.
That makes it harder to stay.
It makes it harder to stay. It makes it harder to earn money. They're not earning it. Like, they're not earning money right now, or unless, well, whatever their 90 degrees. Not, it's so hot out. That's why I was thinking about temperature. Whenever their 90-day clause is up, that's when they stop getting paid. So I
could see them signing with AEW.
I could too, and I hope that they do. Not that I don't want AEW to sign every castaway from WWE.
I'm not saying that.
But there are certain ones like them that could make a big difference, especially because there's a lot of criticism about AEW's women's division. And I think bringing those two women in could be a way to introduce an AEW women's tag team title if they wanted to go that route.
Yep. They still have some years under their belt that they can do.
They got a lot of time left. Yeah, and they could be tag stars, they could be single stars. So I think there's a lot of upside for those ladies to get signed. I think AEW would be a good spot for them. I mean, shit, one of them's married to Shawn Spears, so
makes it a little easier.
Makes it a lot easier, yeah. Tyler Breeze. Oh, we didn't even talk about the fucking Tyler Breeze and Fandango and a bunch of Tony Nese, Anthony Green.
I don't get how you get rid of what was the tag team name? Breezango.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I blanked on that name.
Yeah, like Fandango, for all the shit I gave Fandango because they had him debut against Chris Jericho and beat him at WrestleMania, and then he did the dance that somehow got over. And then they didn't do anything. No. Here's what they did. They had Jerry Lawler come out and go, "Hey, everybody needs to be Fandangoing right now, kids. Let's all Fandango." And it's like your dad coming out and being like, "Hey guys, let's do a TikTok dance together." And you're like, "No,
please, no."
So they killed the Fandango dance. And then Tyler Breeze was interesting enough by himself, but really when Fandango came along and they started doing Zoolander. That was the gimmick, was Zoolander, but it worked. It was them.
They worked great off each other,
and they were funny. They worked well with other people, and aside from that, they were good wrestlers. Like, that's the other thing that a lot of people miss. They were really up halfway between coffee and yawning.
The worst.
Really good wrestlers, man. Like, it's just Johnny Curtis deserves better. Fucking Mike Dalton, whatever he's going to
They were great on Up, Up, Down, Down.
So obviously they just filmed a bunch of stuff. Breeze is still in their No Mercy tournament. I saw him winning a triple threat yesterday against Lince Dorado and Shayna Baszler. He played as Viscera, smart move. He plays Viscera because somebody Dorado was playing as Eddie Guerrero, and if you're a certain size character, they can't pick you up for slams.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was No Mercy. No Mercy, WCW World Tour, Revenge, and then WrestleMania 2000. All four of those games were like, that's all I did when I was 10 to 13 years old.
Such a great games.
Great games. But my point is, Tyler Breeze is still in that tournament. He's filmed this Raw SmackDown 2007 GM, the general manager mode game with Creed for like the last 3 or 4 years, and they just started a new season. Do they just drop it? Like, is that they're just going to show the episodes that they filmed and like, hey guys, that's it, Breeze is gone? Are they going to pay him to appear just as a character on Up, Up, Down, Down, and he's no longer involved in wrestling? I don't know.
Ugh.
A lot of things up in the air.
Didn't the New Day and Young Bucks do something before AEW on Up, Down, Down?
Yes, New Day challenged the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to a Street Fighter tournament, and they lost, I believe, or no, I don't remember, because the whole consequence was the losers had to eat a hot pepper, and I think the New Day lost, and then Kenny Omega, to upstage them, ate a pepper as well. So then it just ended with everybody eating hot peppers and being miserable, as any good YouTube does. YouTube video.
Yeah, you have to be miserable.
That's most of YouTube, is looking up people in pain doing something like that. But they did that. That was kind of right around the time when WWE was interested.
The New Day won.
New Day won. That's what I figured. And then they ate the hot peppers altogether because Kenny Omega wanted to prove he was tougher than the New Day or something. I don't know, but it was fun. It was a fun little thing. It was nice to see them cross over, because that was when the speculation was that the Bullet Club, for lack of a better term, even though they never ended up using that, was going to go to WWE. They didn't. The Good Brothers did.
Another wasted opportunity. Speaking of wasted opportunities.
Yeah, bootleg versions of the Bullet Club, from the Balor Club to the Good Brothers to the Club to the original Club to the OC to the GB to the STD. Like, they were just...
So you're fired.
Yeah, and then they just fired them, and it's like... I don't understand how the WWE got away with ripping off Bullet Club with Balor Club and the original Club for so long. Like, they just took it. They were just like, this is something somebody else did. We're just going to use the name, see what happens.
They don't want to invoke the wrath of Jerry McDivitt.
No, nobody does, apparently, not even internationally. I wonder
isn't copyright rules a little bit looser in Japan, China?
It might be. Yeah,
I think it's a little looser.
If you've ever ordered anything off of Wish or AliExpress, you know that there's not exactly copyright laws in those countries.
They're there.
Yeah, but if you want a bong that looks like Mickey Mouse, you go on Wish and there's a bong that looks like Mickey Mouse. It's not going to be from Disney, but it'll look like Mickey Mouse.
Hey, give it another 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. If they're legal, they legalized marijuana in Connecticut. They're legalizing it all over the place. That'd be a hell of a thing if somebody was like on the Tower of Terror, just getting really high, like too high on the Tower of Terror. Oh
no, the camera thing, and they're just starting to light it.
Yeah, you see that. Yeah, if they're on, you just see the spark on the picture as they drop. You're like, what is that guy doing?
Is that a Mickey Mouse?
Oh, hi guys.
South Park ruined that character for me.
Somebody pass me the ball. Oh.
I just see the South Park version. Oh, what's he doing on my ride?
And they're that's another one. They're lucky. The United States copyright laws protects parody very, very closely, as long as you do it the specific way. And they do it. South Park does it in just the right way, where they don't get sued.
To the T.
Just they know just where they need to go, what they can and can't say. And who knew? Like, did you know that you could just write a song that says Kanye West is a gay fish and he sucks on fish sticks, and there's nothing he can do about it, because you just made, like, it's a parody. He can't sue. They're gonna say he's fish sticks. Fish sticks. I know it's fish sticks, but it's fish sticks. Like,
that's a joke.
Yes, but it's beautiful that
it is.
They can do that and not get sued. And then WWE just kind of does the same thing. They make like the RC Cola version of the Bullet Club.
That's really means RC Cola.
Ricochet versus John Morrison ended in a double count out.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Neither of these guys qualify for. It was a Money in the Bank qualifier.
Currently, they're neither.
Oh no! They're already in a matchup of Money in the Bank ladder match participants. All right, so they're already in. They booked a match where they didn't want either guy to win, so they made a double count out.
I think it was neither. They didn't want either of them to lose.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want one of these guys to lose before the match. Don't make the match. Have them wrestle different people. Have them wrestle,
or do a tag team.
Right, and have Ricochet and John Morrison not get along, but they have to face another tag team, and then still win, and then they win, and then both of the guys look good. Like,
or have them on different sides and have
wrestling is easy, yeah, right? And then have the other opposite person take the pin, the opposite partner take.
Yeah, like have whoever was with Morrison fight with them because they're not, or have him get upset at the Miz who was at ringside, and then lead into a pinfall.
All right. We're getting towards the top of the hour. As much as I can keep I got to talk about this because we brought it up. I keep saying that writing wrestling is easy. It is if you're a wrestling fan. I need to talk about this.
Oh, I know where you're talking.
Oh, and I don't like what's happened because all right, I'll fill you in, folks. For those of you not in the know, there was a writer that was hired for the WWE that, like many writers, did not have wrestling writing experience, did not have experience as a wrestling fan, did not watch wrestling. Now, on the flip side, she was a stand-up comedian, or is a stand-up comedian, is a podcaster, has written for comedy television shows, and produced for radio, like comedy radio shows, maybe satellite radio, Sirius XM, whatever it is. She had a very good resume, but then she went on a podcast and she said, "Oh yeah, I got this job. I don't know who the fuck anybody is. I think the guy's name is Bobby Ashley." It's like 3 minutes of Wikipedia. Like, I've applied for jobs that I'm underqualified for before. I went on Google and looked shit up about the job so I could at least make it, when I went to the interview, pretend that I knew something. Make yourself look good. Like, that's really what the problem was. She didn't make herself look good, and she kind of addressed it in a flippant way. Now, here's what I don't like that happened. She did that, and then people started sending her nasty messages and death threats and everything. Now, I am all for voicing your opinion. I think the WWE was absolutely silly for hiring somebody with no fandom or appreciation for wrestling to write a wrestling show, because she might not get it. And then my reaction that they shouldn't have hired her is justified by WWE's reaction of firing her after she admitted she didn't know anything about wrestling and she looked bad. Like, that's the risk you run when you hire somebody who doesn't know about the business.
Exactly.
So, but I am all for people saying, "Hey, Kamisha," or whatever her name was, I'm sorry, I forget her name, you shouldn't have been with the WWE. They shouldn't have hired you. That's a valid opinion. It's
about criticism.
You should die. Death threats. You're an asshole. All a litany of things that people have said to her. That is absolutely inappropriate.
Yeah.
But to think that maybe, hey, they shouldn't have hired this girl to begin with is valid. I'm just saying, if anybody's out there thinking of, like, she's been getting email, like, hate messages and shit on her social media, on her personal website. It's really shitty that they're doing that to her. And on the flip side of that, I've applied for that writing job several times. I've had friends that had that writing job. I was referred by people within WWE when I applied for the writing job, and I still didn't fucking get the writing job. I've been working in the wrestling business for this is not about me, but I'm just telling you, I've been in the wrestling business for over 15 years. There are other people like me who've been in the wrestling business just as long or longer, who would kill to help. Now, here's the thing. I complain a lot about WWE. If they gave me the opportunity to go in there and help make that TV show better, and I'm getting paid to do it, I'm taking that job in 30 seconds. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Because
I'd drop everything.
Right. As somebody who loves wrestling, that's what you would do. You would drop your day job. You would drop everything to go and try and do this. Even
drop family life, just throw everything into a car and go.
Right. Knowing Raw sucks. You know that ahead of time. They're like, you're going to write for Raw. And you're like, this shit stinks right now. But you know what? I've got some idea. Maybe you've got some ideas that can make it better. And I'm not saying this girl did or didn't. But what I'm saying is she didn't have the wrestling experience to come in. Like, if somebody who was a wrestling fan and had experience in the wrestling business and has written for TV and all this wanted to come in and they wanted to hire him, they could say, "Hey, I've been watching wrestling for the last 20 years. I just watched last week. Here's what I think you should do with Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston. Here's my pitch for a story," and give them an example. And that's like, wow, that's really good. Now, because he used a real example. If this woman went in with a pitch and she's like, "Oh, well, wrestler number one, he's a bad guy, and wrestler number two, well, he's the good guy," and he starts telling the story, it's like, but you don't have the connection to it because they're not real wrestlers. They don't exist.
You don't know how to put the pieces together.
Right. She
might have all the knowledge of comedy, but you don't know how to arrange it.
And she might not know what characters would work for certain segments because she doesn't follow the program. So you could have somebody in the wrong segment.
Yeah.
You know, in the wrong kind of segment. So there's no knock on her. I appreciate the hustle. She got farther than I ever did when applying for that fucking job. So, I would just say if you're gonna like, I don't know if she lied on her resume to get the interview,
or maybe,
or if they just wanted to hire somebody with no wrestling experience.
Yeah,
whatever it is, when you go on that podcast, you lie your ass off.
Yeah,
like you just go.
I was gonna say you don't go on a podcast and go, I don't know anything.
No, you go on and you say, I'm very happy for this opportunity to work with WWE. I haven't watched the product in a few years, but when I was younger, my brothers or my cousins or my sister or my grandmother would watch wrestling all the time. Better. And I remember watching Razor, like say this, all you gotta do is say the typical bullshit that somebody would say who hasn't watched wrestling in 30 years.
Or even go couple years back and be like, oh, I used to watch, my grandfather used to tell me about Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Exactly. Or even just be like, oh, like all you need to know is John Cena. Be like, oh, when I was a little girl, I loved watching John Cena. That's a safe bet.
Just
real safe bet.
Google WWE and then plug in the
popular
name.
WWE superstars. Enter. It would have saved your fucking job.
And pick the correct one due to how old you are.
But Ryan, you have to understand here. The difference between this girl keeping her job and losing her job was the letter L in Lashley.
Yeah.
That was it. If she just said Bobby Lashley instead of Bobby Ashley, we'd be telling a whole different story.
There wouldn't be a story.
There wouldn't be, because she would have got it right. Like, she can't go out there and go, oh, I like Bobby Ashley and that guy, The Mix, and like, John Mortenstein, like whatever. She just comes out with these terrible names. Like, no, you gotta know she.
John Weinstein.
Can't say that one. And then that's where you see the YouTube stream shuts down because we said the W word.
I think he's back in good graces.
Oh,
I heard he's in a movie, so I think we're okay.
Well, Harvey's not. Harvey Weinstein is in nobody's good graces.
Yeah.
I imagine that viewer that we have in my corner here that I'm seeing is Steve, and somehow he's balder than he was an hour. Like he's just sitting there ripping the hair out of his head that he has left, as me
just like
pulling this franchise into the ground. Yeah, like just one at a time. Dink, dink. Pick an individual like with a tweezer. Just dink. He's just so mad at us. Dink. We have made the Justice League of this podcast. This is our Justice.
I was gonna make a Undertaker where he shaved his head.
Oh, is this or is this our Green Lantern? I hope it's not our Green Lantern.
Oh, jeez.
The Green Lantern episode, the one nobody ever talks about it. It's just Vince and Ryan bullshitting to do it for an hour. No, this is fun. I don't want to talk shit about that girl anymore. I feel bad that she's.
I don't think we really did. We just.
No, I didn't talk too much. Like it was.
It was a valid point.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
If you don't know why you're there, you bullshit. You lie until you know.
Isn't that how anybody gets any job? you just kind of fake it until you make it. That's
exactly. You just gotta keep it going.
So yeah, guys, this is not just for wrestling, but in real life. If you apply for a job that you're not qualified for and you get it, just lie. Just lie.
Never admit you were not qualified.
Right? Yes, especially publicly on a podcast when you are employed by a nationally or an internationally traded company on the stock market. Like, probably not a good look.
With millions of viewers and even more people that are in the radius of it.
I mean, there are millions of viewers, and then once you count once you start going from the US and you go internationally, UK is big there, Japan's big there, India it's huge, Australia it's big.
Mean, there are you have WWE fans that don't watch weekly, but
will even be aware of it.
Look at an article of the writer, and they'll look at the.
You know how it happens. You like a Facebook page that's like wrestling news with 3 Z's at the end, and it's like you like
and a random X.
Yeah, you like the page 10 years ago, and you just never unfollowed it. And every so often you see an article come up, and you'll see it and you go, Writer fired from WWE for not knowing anything about wrestling. I got to read that.
Or the article, writing wrestler admits she doesn't know anything about wrestling. Wait, what? This is why I don't watch it anymore.
Right, yes, right. And then you go, yeah, this is bullshit. So, yeah, that's the lesson for today, kids. We don't have a letter of the day or a number of the day like Sesame Street, but our lesson is you get that job that you're not qualified for. You lie your ass off and do the job.
You lie until you forget that you're lying.
That is a good way to do it. Because, yeah, eventually the lie becomes the truth. That's a song, but I forget which song. Anyway, we're towards the top of the hour. Coming up, for those of you who love your pro wrestling, Monday night had AEW Dark Elevation on YouTube. Tonight, right now at 7, is going to start AEW Dark itself. Kenny Bengal from wrestler out of New Jersey, who I've worked with before in Northeast Wrestling and some other promotions, has a match against Lance Archer tonight. I wish him very well against Lance Archer, but I have a feeling I know how this one's going to go.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see some representation here. Guys from the Northeast have been getting a look. Mike Verna's been there. Robo, the Indian Lions or the Punjab Lions, been there. And now Kenny Bengal's going to be there. It's awesome. It's good to see guys that I'm familiar with getting their time to shine with AEW. Wednesday night Dynamite is back on. Friday night is SmackDown.
We got NXT tonight.
Oh, is there NXT? Yes, there's also NXT tonight. Holy shit. There's so much. And then if you watch Japanese wrestling, of course, there's always New Japan shows.
When is Impact on again?
Impact is on, I think Impact's on Tuesday nights as well. It's either Tuesdays or Thursdays now. I usually catch it afterward. So it's either a Tuesday night or a Thursday night, and then I believe it's at 8 p.m. And they broadcast. They'll also do a Twitch stream. And I think like Jessica Havoc does a stream where she'll play the video and commentate over it, and you can talk with Impact wrestlers who stream and rebroadcast the stream on Twitch. So it's a fun time. Choco Pro Wrestling, which is the one that Emi Sakura runs out of basically a rented out studio. That's maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, and they put down a big fucking mat. It's a big chocolate color. It's a big brown mattress that they call the Chocolate Square, basically. And they do like legit wrestling, and they've got like deathmatch wrestlers and like regular wrestlers and comedy wrestlers, and they're doing a tag team tournament. It's live on YouTube. They broadcast usually 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And again, it's Choco, like the first part of chocolate, and then Pro. Yep. And it's pretty cool. Choco Pro Wrestling. And then they have
to check that out.
They do live streams where like they'll sit there and like Emi Sakura and Mei Saruga, and then Balian Aki, who's the Indian kid who came over. He came over from India to Japan to train. He's great. Aki speaks English and Japanese, so he's able to translate for the Japanese wrestlers, and they like talk on the stream. So you can watch, if you're watching Dynamite, you can just go on the Choco Pro stream and hang out with them and ask them questions about the matches and shit, and they comment. And like it's a nice little community of people that just like talk pro wrestling while these shows are going on. So and it's actually like, because it's Japanese wrestling, it's not shitty. It's the fans are great. It's so great to watch Japanese wrestling and fans of Japanese wrestling. Nobody ever complains. It's just the nice that I think they're just too polite. I think it's just a cultural thing, but it's great. Nobody complains. Everybody's like, "Oh, I love this." It's never I hate that wrestler. It's like they don't spend so much time focusing on who they hate. They spend all the time focusing on who they like, which is a really good way to watch wrestling. So adopt that Japanese style of watching wrestling. Cheer for the people you cheer. Don't focus all your energy on people that you don't like.
I think that would be a great lesson for the American audience.
Yeah,
because it's
America in general. Everybody in general just needs to take that advice. Focus more on what you do like and less on what you don't. You'll be a lot happier. Fuck, look at that. We hit the top.
I know. Crazy.
Shocked. I'm glad we did it. Thank you for joining me, Ryan.
Yes.
Hopefully,
I
some of the crew
wouldn't miss it.
Obviously, listen. Neither of us would miss it. I don't know about the other guys though. Seems like everybody deserves a day off every once in a while. I get it. As I said, Steve had to work. Cat's moving. Everybody's kind of doing their thing.
Cat probably it was like hassling the internet company. Can I get it by this date? Come on.
Yeah, I know. Let's go. Well, Cat, poor lady. We'll tell you this real quick before going off the air. She had the moving company call her and say they're coming a day early. This isn't like she's packing up an apartment. She's packing up a whole goddamn house with her and like 4 kids, and her and her husband and 4 kids, and they have
a hockey team.
Right? Yeah, you're packing up for like a professional sports team. They weren't.
Doesn't she have an additional 2 kids too? On top of hers?
I don't know.
Because remember, there's a lot of people. That's all.
Oh, she had nieces and nephews over the other day for sure. Yeah. I don't know if they're here, but like what I'm saying is like she got called a day early, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, your moving truck's coming 24 hours early. We know you're not ready to pack, but like they just did it. They're like it's fuck you, we're coming anyway."
They're like, we said tomorrow. It's gonna be tomorrow, not 2 days from now.
Yeah,
so, but what you can do is go fuck yourself. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, like you can go fuck yourself. And that's the way I think we'll end it for tonight. But thank you for joining me, Ryan. We'll be back with some more of our crew next week. If you don't know what you've been listening to the War Report podcast brought to you by tagmeadate.com, which is under a big redesign. And we'll be back soon. Follow all of our social media at Tag Me a Date. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope. YouTube is also Tag Me a Date. You go to the search bar, youtube.com, type in Tag Me a Date. No spaces, it's all one word. You'll see our channel. You can subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications when we go live or when we upload a new video. We go live 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday nights. We broadcast live on. We're having a problem with this Facebook stream. So Steve, hopefully we can figure that out for next week. The YouTube
easy fix.
Right. The YouTube, the Periscope, and the Twitch streams are all working fine. So just subscribe to whichever one you want, and you can see
re-upload the video tonight.
If you're on the Facebook page, the video will be re-uploaded. And if you prefer an audio version, Ryan is also nice enough to download the MP3 and rip that for us and get it uploaded. And that'll go on your favorite podcast app of choice, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And again, you look for either Tag Me a Date or the War Report. You should see it come up. You'll see our little icon. It'll, match all of our branding from our social media. That'll give you an opportunity to listen to the audio version wherever you usually listen to them. I like to listen to podcasts in the shower. That's kind of my deal. So whenever you want to, that's about it. So thanks, guys, for listening. We'll be back next week for another edition. I'm hoping everybody goes. I'm looking around for somebody to tell me to wrap it up. Like, no, this is it. It's just me.
We don't have to worry about Steve and his dinner.
Right? I'm always in the back of my mind, like Steve's dinner is going to get cold and Stacy's going to kill me. So we're good.
Steve doesn't want to sleep on the couch tonight.
Yeah, no, it's way too hot to sleep on the couch tonight. Oh my God. But yeah, that's it, guys. We'll be back next week for another edition of the War Report. Hope to catch you live 6 p.m. Eastern time on a Tuesday night on your favorite live streaming app, such as Twitch, Periscope, YouTube Live, or Facebook Live. We will see you then. Thank you so much. Have a nice week, everybody.